What happened while we were away, brought to you by a mixed bag in the Badger State. A much ballyhooed state Supreme Court race went down last night in the Badger State between Trump-endorsed Brad Schimmel and lefty Susan Crawford. Crawford won rather easily, 55 to 45%, even though Schimmel, the Trump-endorsed candidate, received more votes than any left-wing candidate had received in the history of a Wisconsin Supreme Court election. Interestingly, though, Wisconsin voters passed a ballot question by an even larger margin, which requires photo ID to vote. That measure passed 63 to 37. So a mixed bag in Wisconsin as Republican candidates continue to struggle when Donald Trump's name isn't on the ballot, unless you're in Florida, where two Republicans won their congressional special elections last night in Florida's 1st and 6th congressional districts, though with underwhelming margins. Moving on, a Biden-appointed federal judge in California has attempted to block the Trump administration's termination of taxpayer-funded legal counsel for illegal aliens. Lefties and the mainstream media, sorry for the redundancy, were all up in arms this week over a quote-unquote Maryland father who was, they say, wrongly deported to an El Salvador prison. Stephen Miller, your thoughts?
So let's just go over the facts here. He is an illegal alien. Fact one, what do you do with illegal aliens? You deport them. Fact two, he's an MS-13. What do you do with illegal aliens who are also in a transnational terrorist organization? You deport them more quickly. Oh, and on top of that, he's implicated in human trafficking. Deport, deport, deport. This is who they're going to bat for. What are we supposed to do? Buy the guy a house, get him some free health care,
Yeah.
Maybe let him run for Congress?
Yeah. You're supposed to do all of those things.
This is who this is the Democrat Party. This is who they stand for.
Checking in on MSNBC.
And just to slightly push back on Mark, even if you tell me and you prove that they're gang members, I'm not so sure that I'm okay with them being sent off to be tortured in a foreign country, but I'll leave that aside.
Today is what the Trump administration is billing as Liberation Day as reciprocal tariffs go into effect on oodles of countries.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country. It's going to make our country rich again. We have many companies, as you know, auto companies are opening up plants now. We've had 4 or 5 announced already, but many more are coming.
The administration says they've already secured $5 trillion of investment into the United States. One country who seems to want to play ball with Trump's trade policies is Israel, who for some reason had enacted tariffs on imports from the United States. They now say they are getting rid of those tariffs. Mass layoffs began this week at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration, the first steps in a plan to cut 10,000 jobs at the Department of Health and Human Services. And finally, legendary actor Val Kilmer has passed away from pneumonia at the age of 65. Kilmer was known for his role as Iceman in Top Gun, Batman in Batman Forever, and Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Kilmer suffered from complications after a battle with throat cancer, which also affected his career in acting. He did make a comeback in 2022's Top Gun sequel, Top Gun Maverick. Val Kilmer, legendary actor, dead at the age of 65. And that's what happened while we were away.